Yeah.
Great. We'll call the public safety meeting to order. April 21st, 2026. Roll call, please.
Cameron. Randy's absent. Candace. Kevin is absent. Tammy.
I pledge allegiance to the flag
Of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
As there were opportunities for anyone to issue, please observe the time will make us 3 minutes. While committee encourages input from residents, it may not discuss or act on any issues that are not being posted on the agenda.
So there's nothing online, and I didn't receive anything.
Approval of the minutes for March 17th, 2026. Any discussion? In favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, the same. Will moved. All right, report of the public safety committee awful third. On we report 2 topics in today's packet. So I'll be talking when we get to those. Members, anything to report? Special guest.
They're a special, but
Okay, report of the first responders.
Chief Polly said she was going to be here, but she's obviously not. And I didn't get a report from her for anything. So
Okay.
I'll just say no report for now. Hopefully I don't know if they're out on a call, maybe. So,
Okay.
all right.
Trajectories last year. We only had 2 actual calls that were weather related. Did a bunch of cleanup and tree cleanup and road cleanup and just to kind of roads open. But both of the actual calls were rushing. Possibly a third one on Friday to make a power pull out. We were doing that under the weather, but it always started tilting throughout the day. Someone's actually got through the station. We're going to maintenance type stuff for our days, so we're kind of getting some quotes on that. And then at the end of the year, we've got a few volunteers that are working on building a citizens academy for people from the fire district. We're going to come out with a 6 or 8 week course once a week. That's what we do. And start being the hands on some equipment. So we're working through that process right now.
We're taking a training over that middle school. Cool.
Yeah, that class was done. We had 4 people go through the treasure operator class to use that.
Very good.
The only thing we have is significant was the weather that we dealt with. So we did prepare pretty detailed reports regarding damages and things like that for citizens that need to file claims. I also turned in a report to the National Weather Service to see if, based on some of our pictures, to see if we actually had a tornado go over top of us. They usually assess damages and look at trees and see if it was straight line winds usually flatten things, and tornadoes twist things, obviously. So some of our pictures were sent up. I haven't heard anything back. As far as we have our hiring process is going well. We're in the final last little stages of the hiring process. We did do a conditional job offer, and then there's all the medical stuff. So we're working through that. It looks like we would have someone in the academy. The unfortunate part is they need the academy, which means that they would be leaving in August, coming back, graduating in December, and not being working with us till March by the time they're done with field training. So we'll still have a hold for the rest of the year in the first quarter of next year, but probably just in time before Roger decides to retire. So that's just the nature of the beast right now. So
What do they do between, you know, the academy?
well, this person had the option for us to hire him right away. He could have helped us move, but he's has chosen to stay at his current job. Um, his pay would go down significantly by what we would pay while he's in the academy. It'll go up significantly once he's done with the academy. We only pay 75% of the actual wage while you're in the academy. So hiring him on early, he would take a pay cut. So he's elected to stay at his current employer, work overtime, save, so that way when he's in the academy, he can still support himself and with that reduced rate. So because he can't have any other jobs but the academy. So we're hoping he'll start on the 27th of July because the academy starts in August. So a couple weeks to just get the onboarding done. And we'll invite him to one of the meetings. We'll have him sworn in probably at the board meeting on the 27th. That's kind of what it's looking like right now.
All right. Moving on to discussion topics. Number one, discussion possible action regarding village ordinance, electric scooters, electric bikes, and speed limits.
Um, so that's sort of definitely met that first week right after.
So these are
Talked about were
right.
addressed.
And I think this was using other communities and what they're doing. So these are the recommendations from the mini committee and our village attorney.
I guess I had some questions on a couple of them. There's the PowerPoints below. And that's obviously for
Yeah, that was just put on as an example of what these are. They don't have anything to do with the ordinance, just so you understand more or less the class 1, 2, 3, what they are. You know, this is a presentation that Lodi provides their community.
Yeah.
So
there's just some things from there. I guess probably worth discussing. You know, they have like class 1 and class 2 electric bikes. All are permitted on roadway or bicycle lane. No, that's one of the things. 14. Sorry. No, you're right. Like this one, like class 1 and 2 use may be operated on bicycle paths and recreation trails permitted on the roadway or bicycle lane, apply with all traffic. But then we have class 1, class 2 non-electric bikes and class 3 kind of prohibited from those areas. I'm you know, happy to support whatever this committee wants, but I just, you know, is that what we want? No bikes on any sidewalks, shared use paths, conservation trails.
Electric bikes, I should be around there. Not on the boardwalk itself.
Great. Pretty not on the boardwalk part.
think he was saying that he
Sure.
did. I don't know if there's signs. I know.
No, no, I don't think there's signs. That would be part of the requirement of the ordinance would be signage.
And there's just a lot for where we would put signs that say that, so we could put that on the board, but then I think we wouldn't even be able to run a normal bicycle on a paved.
Like I said, I think that was one thing that I just thought some back and forth from various other people as far as, well, yeah. Like, on the boardwalk, look at a lot of people ride their bikes, a lot of electric bikes, but their bicycles there. I think it's much better. Yeah,
Are you guys discuss basically section A1 where it says bicycles, electric scooters are prohibited on sidewalks?
yeah, I mean, why are, I mean, I guess my question is why are bicycles, regular bicycles included? I mean, I guess that's another.
I mean, that's
part of it, but,
right.
you know, as far as the electric bicycles and scooters, and when we got here, we were told that they were not prohibited, so, I mean, we have a electric scooter sitting in the garage for, years, but it doesn't, I'm thinking about those with younger kids, and it doesn't personally affect me now, we've been without it, but the whole bicycles, I think I don't know, I think that's a little much, especially if we haven't seen anything to say like, no, why not, no one's been hurt, is there been destruction, that kind of thing,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's why it's up here for discussion. So that, I mean,
I definitely don't agree with regular bicycles. I'm kind of just neutral right now as far as like electric bikes and scooters, but that's just. Scooters. Yeah. Get up to and people walking. Yeah. Yeah. And I don't see a lot. I mean, I don't see a lot of village.
which ones?
The electric.
There's some now for sure.
Yeah. I guess that's why we're talking about it. I haven't noticed a lot.
I think, obviously, like with Lodi has like class 3 should definitely not be there.
Right.
So maybe motorcycles. Class 1 and 2 are a little bit of a gray area for me. But I'm kind of at like a normal bike. Should that be prohibited? Like, do we just remove that first word from A1? That does make them on sidewalks though, which, I don't know. I was growing up, I was always told to ride on the street, don't ride, it's called a sidewalk for a reason, Cameron. That's what my always said. We don't. I mean, I do see when I drive to work, I come down Church Street and there's a lot of kids on bikes on the sidewalk headed toward the middle school.
Eighth grader, and I'm trying to think the way he goes. He goes through a neighborhood, then he goes crosswalk, and he's on the sidewalk for a bit until he gets to Glacier. And to me, that makes more sense.
Okay. So,
I mean, if you think about it, e-bikes, class 1, class 2, they can go up to 20 miles an hour. I don't know if you want those kind of even on a sidewalk with people or on a recreation trail. But bicycles, I think that it's such a blanket statement. Like, I don't know did he finally remove helmets? I hope so. Part of this was also to So, I mean, I'm getting away from it, but there was a clause in here that everybody under the age of 18 would be required to wear a helmet. Would be against the ordinance of the, I'm like, well, I didn't feel I was very vocal about that. I mean, are we gonna really stop 9-year-olds and say, hey, not wearing a helmet? That's just a little, that,
14.
yeah, it's still in here. So I think he left it in here. Okay. All person under operating a bicycle, electric bicycle or electric shall wear. So I I had an issue with the bicycle portion of it. Now, electric bike, they're going 20 miles an hour. I mean, it's in down Mill Creek Parkway, you'd be at the top of that speed. That's pretty fast.
Also, something was something else that brought up last time was he's not going to like figure out if it's a class 1, 2, or 3. That's really challenging. But I guess I would look kind of to your expert opinions. You tell me would it be problematic to differentiate between a bicycle and an electric bicycle?
I don't think so. Not. I mean, some of them are kind of hybrid, where some of them are pedal, but I don't think we're talking about that. The e-bikes are right. Yeah. And again, it's new, so I so 14 to me, the operating everybody under the age of 18 for a bicycle. I mean, that's everybody. So I just think that's a little much. I mean, especially when we hand out Culver's tokens for somebody wearing a helmet. We're trying to do officer friendly, not hey, get a helmet on or you get a ticket or parents get a ticket. I could see, you got to wear a helmet if you're on an electric bike. I mean, that's pretty fast. I mean, even 20 miles an hour. Uh, you know, People ride motorcycles going that at 20 miles an hour.
As far as the ordinance, you didn't find somebody and then indicate.
Right. Well, right. If somebody gets hurt, well, where it would be probably in reverse, like let's say somebody strikes somebody and they get a head injury and weren't wearing a helmet, liability wise, would they then lean like there's an ordinance on it? How many people are the police stopping from violating this law? I mean, they can always do that. I mean, it's hard to enforce every law in the books, and that's been brought up at multiple, even village board conversations about all the laws. It's impossible. That's all we would do is just find that everybody's violating a law at some point. So I don't like the bicycle either. I think that's heavy-handed. And then now you're pushing 10-year-olds into the street because they can't ride on a sidewalk.
I think we're so far at just like possibly striking bicycle from A1 and possibly striking bicycle from A14. I think that's still right enough where we could continue the conversation. I would be comfortable with the motion.
Yeah, I mean we could why don't we just go one by one and then so is the consensus to get rid of bicycle in one. Okay, I'm just gonna write some of those down.
And then we also, I think the consensus among but it's just strike bicycle before.
Yeah, let's go to 2 though. No person may operate a bicycle, electric bike, or electric scooter, a place where village sign is posted. I think we leave that because if, like in the recreation area, maybe they don't want bikes, and so if there's a sign, then you have to follow the sign. Person under the age of 18 or 16 are prohibited from operating class 3 electric bike. I think that makes total sense. That it's happening all over. Like the class 3 is really, it's like almost a motorcycle.
Is the state statute at 18?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, state statute is 18, and we're doing it less. So 16. I would have added 16 and licensed. Because then they've at least drive a car too.
So with that.
Yeah,
Recruiting could simply be, instead of getting into the age thing, to just say,
Valid driver.
Yep,
driver's license is required for operating.
so maybe a second.
Yeah, well, a driver's license. Well, class 3 doesn't have a license, it would just have to be a
Correct, I mean, if the 16-year-old has a motorcycle license.
right, but I don't think you need to make it that specific, like they have to have a motorcycle, because that's a special license. You can just say valid driver's license.
A driver's license isn't a dependency for a motorcycle license.
Yeah, you can have a motorcycle license and not have a valid driver's license. You can have they're different classes. One's a class D, one's a class M. No, no. I mean, you could just say valid driver.
16 and about.
Yeah, you can say 16 and valid driver. Sure, person under the age of 16. Or we'd have to put something with unlicensed driver.
I was just saying that was Annabelle, because we have 16-year-old adult.
Right. So if it's about driver's license, then there's 16-year-olds that don't have licenses because nowadays you have to be sponsored. So and some parents don't sponsor you.
Are we comfortable with an 18-year-old without a driver's license running a class 3? I think that's kind of
well, the state law says person under the age of 18 are prohibited from operating. It's 18. So I mean, we could just stay with the 18 person under because they're adults. I mean, the state, instead of making it so constricted, whether they're valid or not, so the person under the age of 18 are prohibited, and that's state law. So you add it to ours and just say 18, and then they're an adult. So if they're licensed or not, I mean, it's a recreational vehicle. It's not required to have a license plate on those vehicles, on those things, but again, we'll be able to tell between an 18-year-old and a 12-year-old on that kind of thing.
So you're saying
For 3, just change it to 18, which follows state law. If operating a group of riders, all riders, bicycle, electric, they should operate single file line. There shouldn't be double. That's for motorcycles and everything. So that's not a big one. All operators shall ride in the same direction as traffic. It's also safety. I mean, people do ride against traffic, but that's actually dangerous because somebody coming at you, it just gives you that. So you're supposed to drive in the same direction. So that makes sense. Well, you got to follow all the laws too. Like even bikes, we've had people go blow, some of these more professional bike riders, they blow right through stop signs. We had an officer stop a guy. I mean, he nearly got hit anyway, and stop him and say, you got to stop at these stop signs. And he ended up walking himself into a ticket because the guy got really argumentative. And it was like, they're here for a reason. Like, I get it that you think you can make it and then you can't. And then, so. All right, so same direction. If overtaking or passing any person or vehicle in operation shall give an audible signal. That's already in law. No person operating a bicycle, electric bike, or electric scooter may cling to or attach themselves. That's like they can't cling to cars, which that's normal. All persons operating a bicycle, electric, or scooter shall operate at a speed which is reasonable and prudent. I think that covers everything. Like just because you can go 20 doesn't mean you should go 20. Just because there's bicyclists that go faster than 20. So I think that makes sense. No person operating a bicycle, electric bike, or scooter shall participate in races or speed contests with other operators. This one, the acrobatic and trick riding, that is in several ordinances too. There's spots for that, like skateboard parks and things like that.
So it is going to be things because of the state park. State that it's only allowed there.
But I think that would be covered under signage. Like hopefully the parks committee would put down no bikes, no like sign over at that it's meant for skateboards, not for bikes. So I think that would be covered under signs, like in I think number 2, no person may operate a bike scooter in a place where a village sign is posted.
Use parks over there.
And maybe you can. I don't know. I haven't seen anybody using bikes over there.
I think I did want to, the little
Yeah,
bikes with
yeah.
the legs in the back or whatever.
So again, it gives the parks committee that right to regulate it. And maybe you can get signs that say no e-bikes, so maybe they do want bikes, but again, they can regulate that.
I guess my question is, do we need 10 here? If we-
Oh,
Yes, if a 10-year-old is doing a wheelie down the road.
right. Right. I think that would be like common sense that the officer would not stop a kiddo. But if you've got somebody with a class C or class 3 popping, down the main road, you kind of want that in there. So, I mean, you can add acrobatic or trick riding is prohibited on electric bikes and electric scooters I mean, we've had people, for sure, I dealt with a couple kiddos go down Church Street, popping wheelies in the middle of the road. So I think it just makes sense, just leave it. I mean, all operators of bicycles, electric bicycles, shall stop and yield the right of way to any person emerging from the driveway path. That's law, state law. All operators of bicycle, electric bike shooters shall stop at all arterial stop signs when riding during dark hours of darkness, all operators of bicycles, electric bikes, and shall use proper lamps and lights. Mind you, this ordinance already exists. It just has bicycles. We're adding the other ones. All person under the age of 18 operating a bicycle, electric bicycle, or electric scooter shall wear a properly fitted vest and helmet. I don't like the bicycle thing. I would.
Now, a lot of these were also the suggestions on the state.
Right.
site.
Right. And then there's always the catch-all conflict with laws. If a provision of this ordinance conflicts with statutory provisions, a stricter provision shall be enforced. And I think that's important to leave it because the laws do change and we may not catch it in ordinance quick enough. And this way, that's it.
And so we took off the registration is no longer there. That was on the original ordinance.
Those heavily being used.
If any portion of this ordinance or its inclusion or any person is held invalid, the validity ordinance as a whole or any that prayer here shall not be affected. So that's that. The attorney put that's in a lot of the ordinances, the severability. Effective date, I did clarify that we don't need to have a public hearing. This ordinance already exists. This is just simply being amended, has to pass by the board. So no requirement of public hearing. So I think we could, I could probably make those amendments myself through Adobe Acrobat, like load that in there and then take those things out and send it to the board. So Jonathan Weaver, who works for us part-time, works for full-time for Lodi. So he provided this because we were discussing e-bikes at a department meeting. So I just added it for source of information more than anything.
Yeah, no, I wasn't trying to say that we should follow that. Just when I was scrolling through the Lodi thing, I was like,
Every community is dealing with this. The forest is dealing with it right now. The reason I know that's because my grandkids live there. So
Big issue that we have some kind of graphic that we, so we're using the teacher language, some kind of graphic that we put in the village site too.
Right, yeah. Yeah.
No, it was good, it was helpful, just, we got to read through, and it's like, oh, wait, yeah, class one and class two, sidewalks, but we can, it's bicycle, and so it was really just about thinking about
Okay.
it. I have the notes in front of me, so I can make the motion if that's easier for people.
Yeah.
I will make the motion to recommend this update to the village as presented in the packet with the following adjustments. We start bicycles from A1. We changed 16 to 18 and A3, and we strike bicycle from A14.
No, second, sorry.
Discussion.
I could see, I could see in the discussion of village board that they bring up possibly running this through parks. So that's why I wanted to connect you guys. Maybe, but they might want your opinion on it because some of it does involve parks and recreation. I don't want to speak for Mike, but I did have conversations with Mike about keeping things out of the recreation trails or things like this. And he had concerns about e-bikes even, I mean, a year ago. I know public facilities definitely does. They've actually called us with complaints because kiddos are, blowing through stop signs and whatever. But so
Our kids allowed to be on streets.
yeah.
Public streets.
Because that's what happens when they start coming out. Right home by officers because they were on streets on electric scooters.
Mhm.
So they've all been trained.
Well, and that's, you're talking little guys, right? Little people, but even just young.
You remember that on the east side of Church Street, they were having commercial traffic.
Oh, yeah.
I just think like we have some we'll never want kids, no matter what age. We don't love the side of the road because when you get up and the car is coming to not see you.
Yeah, well, the one that you're talking about is the one, A1,
Yeah,
you
well, but also, I think that allowing the electric scooters. Now they're not, with that being in this.
Mhm.
And the thing is, we don't have the it's part of what kids are going to be.
Mhm.
Not already told they can go on streets. It's just that, like, I think, my neighborhood,
Well, I think, some of these things are probably safer on a sidewalk. It's just when you get to those class 3, they're just way too fast. But even some of these scooters are super fast,
It's a steep piece.
right?
Think about like heritage trails.
Right. Well, I think, the motion has been made. The thing is, sending this to you guys, then ultimately you guys can still, obviously, this is just a recommendation, so, right, those are legit. Mhm. Right,
From a safety perspective, which is this group is concerned with it, because you're probably right. We're
safety, right,
Yeah, we're weighing the electric scooter hitting someone on the speed
right,
time.
right. So I think, I mean, for sake of per process, I think this makes the most sense. I think you guys have leaned it on total safety, right? Like makes total sense, even though I agree with you, sir. I think putting kiddos on the street, certain ages or whatever, on the street makes it like, how does that, it doesn't feel safe. It's, even on Valley Street, sometimes that's just a through area. So it makes sense. You made a motion, second it. If you approve it, I just give it to the board, and then you could make a recommendation that this go to Parks because now you got a new director, and again, they come back with maybe it's area, and then ultimately the board would then come, then Parks guy would have to make a new memo. I don't know if his name's out there yet, is it? Okay, all right. So then he would have to make, a new memo with the differences.
I think is right.
And-
Eventually it ends up at the
Right.
board, and the park view and safety
Right,
view.
right. And I think well, that just shows how committees can work together to figure things out. And then ultimately, then both of you would be there to support it on both sides. That just makes the most sense. Right, right, right. It's just, I'll be honest, I mean, people, they create these vehicles and then it's like, now deal with it. And now they're affordable. So it's not like it's hard to buy a one or class one, class two. I mean, there's some bikes that are more expensive than that. So, yeah, but I think we have to address it because we, somehow have to be able to regulate it.
For reference, you're seeing our current ordinance that has. It's like, you must register your bike.
Right.
And ride it safely, and that's it,
Right.
or something.
Yeah, it's pretty. You have to register, right? But that was the spirit of that law. I mean, the spirit of the law is like, hey, you can register it. The police department will hold. And I still think that is something we should bring back, just promote it. And how we do it is our business. Like we just create a file, right? Just in case it gets stolen. Right. But no, it's actually in ordinance. It says that you shall register. So are we checking every little kiddo that gets a new bike every year? So he's got to register it. And there was a fee to it. So it's like, yeah, it's no different. You got to register your cats too. It's in the ordinance. I mean, people don't. I bet we don't have a single cat registered in town. So, but some of these ordinances are very outdated and we find them outdated once we're dealing with them like this one. So this one's a lot more robust now.
So the motion is still there with the modifications that you want.
Yep.
Discussion.
And this committee can also say, this is our recommendation and we recommend that the village board send it to Parks for their recommendation. You could do that, or you guys could just intercede. Okay. Okay. I will get it to Carly, and it will be considered in March because we don't, or I'm sorry, May 11th. The meeting was moved. Yeah, that one's done. But May 11th, I'll get it to her by then.
We can move on to our next topic, discussion and possible action regarding.
See you later, Sarah.
Ordinance cell phones, hopefully the faculty material is it's pretty self-explanatory. Maybe I'm just the weird one, but every year, many people come out of the woodwork who say, I saw a Facebook post from the village that said like I can only do sparklers or whatever. And then I go, well, our ordinance, like it's complicated, but like your set that you bought at Costco, right? That has the fountain and the little things under driveway, nothing that goes up and boom is fine. You don't need a permit to do more than a sparkler. And it is confusing. Our current ordinance, the language is right there. It says, that you can't do anything except what this little paper cast. So people read that, right? And they assume I can only do this little paper cast sparklers and toy things. But then the tricky part is that the term fireworks is used in section as a term defined in section 167.10 Wisconsin State Statute. If you go read that, it has a whole bunch of things that are excluded, which again are not it's your normal fireworks and staying in the little ones, anything that goes up and explodes and those are still illegal out of state, not from the ordinances. But then people are like, the ordinance can be more exclusive or what was the word like the price of one can be stricter than the state one. And so they're like, well, can't do that. So it's not true. So I have the following suggestion. It's just a minor change instead of like explicitly calling out the things you can't do, having like a little in general, here's the things you can do based on that. So statute section 167.10. And as you scroll down a little bit, you can that's the actual definition in the state statute, and you can see all of the stuff that it's so confusing. The things they omit from the definition of firework, and in particular, like a cone fountain, is in there. So that is legal without a permit in the village. It's the current one. It's confusing, and every year you see Facebook posts and then I get emails and stuff. They're mad that they can't do fountains in the driveway after flying. So that's it, just to make it hopefully a little bit more clear. My proposed change is that to the ordinance. Their attorney did look at the wording in there and said it was good and he had no problems with it.
We're doing, all you would be doing today is going from this to this. It opens it up, it explains, that these are excluded from the definition of fireworks and may be used without a permit.
Yeah.
Amend the
Motion second. Any discussion? Mercedes, do you have any issues with? Just you have to do the permit. I asked her what the permit process was like a year ago.
Yeah.
I gotta talk to Justin about it.
Yeah, there is a process. There has been one since the Girl Scout fireworks.
Yeah.
during World's Fair, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, they did it after maybe 1 year or 2 years after the state World's Fair.
I could see that.
Money like left over from like the carryover. Maybe there was 1 year they got in Dallas, they had the money. Something, but yeah, it was part of it.
I can see the fireworks coming back now with the new pavilion and things down at Xander Park, having for the bands and stuff.
It was always very hard. East of the park. That will be space for time. There's those members that are interested in walking the path. Yeah, I think that's what it should be.
Okay.
Okay. Second, so, okay, I'm sorry, all in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed, the same. Last topic is mine, again, discussion and possible action regarding village ordinance. So this one, originated from trustee Brosius, he's from a resident, who said that, they buy the library and people are in front of their mailbox, the mail does not get delivered, and they are, they don't like that. Bill's kind of original ask was we should paint curbs in front of all mailboxes everywhere. I have pulled together information from Matt on kind of pricing, the current guidelines and state law, and Chief Tony, thank you for helping me with the village ordinance because I totally missed that one. And so there's some options with Chief Tony that we can discuss here. Today's debate in front of all curbside classes village wide. I don't want to color people's opinion too much, but Matt was very opposed to that. Because like that is going to be insanely expensive to maintain long term to do that. The other option that we kind of bounced around outside of this group was just painting it in front of mailboxes near the library and pool, which would be high traffic, parking, street areas. That is actually, if you scroll up, that's the table of information that here. This is a cost estimate from that was just doing 10 to 12 mailboxes around the pool and library, because a lot of them are not actually like facing the library and pool, they're like on the streets that kind of the back streets there. But so about he estimated $700, and then he did want me to really make sure that I noted the contractor that comes in and touches up paint every 2 years, and so there'd be additional ongoing costs because that contractor, and he didn't know exactly how much, but that contractor kind of comes through and freshens up. So there, just that's the cost, but another option is just to look at the mailboxes on that pool, and the other option that we discussed is do nothing, to paint curbs in front of mailboxes. We could talk about other things. Are there? Maybe down below. I'm sorry. And this is where Chief Tillman's expertise was very, very helpful. We could designate mailbox areas as no parking zones under ordinance 61.08. I think that the reading that one was like a village board has to technically do. Nothing with yellow parking.
Yeah, you still got to mark them with yellow.
Oh, never mind. Okay, so we could take no action on curb painting at this time. I'm sorry, I think something up there.
I mean, to add to C, so we do get those kind of parking complaints from time to time, not very often, but like for example, we'll get some during special events and things like that, blocking driveways and stuff. So we could just encourage people to call us because then we would get there, and although there's no ordinance on it, we could ask people to, because they're impeding the mail. We get most of those complaints come from the mail people themselves, that they're blocking their access to the mailboxes. There's probably something federal there that we can't enforce, but so there is something probably there. But just simply calling us and we, make a phone call. Where we have issue tickets is where people will say, hey, the last 2 days, this car has been parked in front of these mailboxes. I can't deliver. That's already in violation of parking laws in Cross Plains because you can't park for more than 48 hours in the designated area. So that's where you would already enforce that. Um, I mean, simply calling us, because a lot of it is just education pieces, and the only thing is if you do get into someone who's like, I can park wherever I want, um, that does become a problem because you don't have a to lean it on.
There is no ordinance now.
Prohibiting mailboxes, blocking mail.
Street park.
What do you mean?
Is there anything about any street park?
Oh, yeah, there's tons.
Because I know that when we had the tri-county swim meet in Bearview, we were told, make sure that you have that 3 feet between the end of the car and the driveway, because the police will come around and take it. Those 2 days, the police were all out and they take it.
But it's probably leaning
For street parking, can we add it,
to just street
can
parking.
we add it to just that? Right. I mean, you know, we haven't, I mean, this is the discussion, I'm actually opposed to like getting an auto payment. I think
Well, it's very expensive.
it's very expensive. I also think, even though we're sitting here, we discussed updating and trying to find policies and things of that, and ordinances and things of that nature. A lot of times, you know, one complaint doesn't mean ordinances or policies need to be changed. And so in my opinion, this is one of those. I know we need to get our mail, it's important. I love directly affected residents to contact the local post office for. Gee, you said they could contact you. I just think that
Mhm.
I'm opposed to all especially again, there's haven't been that many complaints, but it is something I think that could be solved without the extra expense to do that, whether it's in a certain neighborhood or not. Well, it could be something like the signs that we talked about last time. I don't have a pool, but I know like mine. Yeah. Kind of calls too.
Yeah, it was like, I really don't want it everywhere. I really don't want it at the pool and the library because everyone's gonna ask and then it will be everywhere. That was kind of it.
So I don't know, I like the idea of if it can be added to an ordinance about street parking, because I feel like that's,
Mhm.
it goes along there, we don't need like a whole separate yellow lines and mailboxes.
Maybe we should have put 5108 because there's our ordinance on parking in here. There's no overnight parking of vehicles with license weight limitation. Okay, 10,000 pounds. Designated area parking restriction. This was what it was in there. It's basically the village can paint anything yellow, which again, we don't want to do, but and then the village board also has to like designate that as like a special no parking zone. And then if they do that, then Chief Tony can write tickets. I mean, you can write tickets otherwise, but if we wanted to get it, to write tickets through 5108.
You could do it under can't block driveway or sidewalk,
Yeah.
and then just add mailbox.
We have the 48-hour parking, and the 2-inch snow. We have temporary parking regulations for cleaning, and basically everything else is a totally. So yeah, we don't have anything in this ordinance for parking in front of mailboxes.
So we could add 51.
Yeah.
So we'll go to 8. So if I go to 8, it overnight parking, designated areas of parking restriction.
Could it be like, I don't know, like its own or under
Right here, off-road, so no person may operate
where's the driveways?
any.
Oh,
Well,
right there. Wait, No person on there, no person. Okay.
No, that's.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
fine.
Beach Road. Parking regulations, overnight designated area, the village board may designate certain streets. Chief, whatever. 48 hour, no person may park. 2-inch snows, temporary.
Except for the couple things, but they're not.
Yeah, because it's hidden in here. Parking state statutes adopted for the purpose of establishing penalties. Parking in areas reserved for disabled is covered under this statute. Stopping and prohibited areas covered under this. Parking stand prohibited under this, and proper park standing. So in here somewhere, it's going to be, it's going to have blocking sidewalks, fire hydrants, that kind of thing. Unfortunately, mailboxes are not covered as in state law. So, except to stop in this stop in section. So, I mean, you could just add it to one of these. So, designated areas. The village may designate certain streets or portions of the street as no parking or stopping or standing zones or zones for parking for and may limit the hours or shall mark by appropriate signs. This is the yellow, you're back to the yellow. 48 hours, no person may park any vehicle or any street, village parking lot for a period exceeding 40 continuous hours. That's the snow removal one is here.
Can we add a letter?
Yeah.
I mean, it could be short sleeve, you know.
With the bicycle on there.
Yeah.
Lots of. We're recommending.
Yes.
You could do, I mean, you could add it as I guess, but doesn't, I would probably push these down.
Mhm.
Even towing, temporary parking. What if it 2-inch snow 48 hour? A person may park any vehicle or any street in a home exceeding 48 hours except for emergencies.
Yeah, maybe we can see.
Yeah, so I'm hearing no.
Yeah, no.
Start that, no names. And we are interested in modification to 51.03 to include regulation around driveways
And
mailboxes.
yeah. Perhaps we can see. Yeah, kind of like place in D or between D and E.
Yeah, I think makes sense.
Between C.
Or, yeah, I think so. Well, while you're adding no parking, I mean, you could, I mean, it's already covering probably driveways are in here and hydrants, and because those are against the law, you can't do that. Right. But we definitely covering mailboxes, but mailboxes is the only one that wouldn't be covered in here. So you could simply add a letter, like you'd have to make sure all this gets shifted, like making all these letters shift down and then say, you know, a C is mailbox parking regulation, and then say no person may park any vehicle on or any, no, may park any vehicle impeding mailboxes. I mean, the federal rules are
Isn't it like feet? Like certain feet or it?
well, that's from
I couldn't find anything.
that's for sidewalks. They do, or not sidewalks, driveways. There's and hydrants. You have to be a certain amount of distance.
I was always told people.
So I mean, it's being, I could not find a federal specifically.
No. What it's saying is, what it would do is if someone intentionally and repeatedly blocks your mailbox after being told not to, it could potentially be considered mail obstruction under federal law. So it's mail obstruction, and it's just like, no one's charging them. Oh, that's crazy. It says some places prohibit parking within a certain distance, like 4 to 8 feet of a mailbox.
Yeah,
So there is,
Assuming people aren't feeling this is a matter of pressing thing, and what's that? Take a run at
right,
recommended amendment to 51.08.
Yeah.
And look at other municipalities and see what they have, and also figure out 51.08G, all of the details and those.
Yep, that'd be good. I think doing the research makes more sense.
To make sure first the original. So looking is we're not taking action tonight. And I will. I think I can have it ready for the next public safety meeting. Actually, we'll just talk about that in the future agenda. So it's too bad of an issue. So if it will fit in the next one. Okay. Does anyone? Take action on brings us to future items of discussion. Village Organized Inspection Authority at the massage parlor.
Yeah.
Are we still good with that in the May meeting?
yeah, I'll get it to the chief next week.
Okay. Yep. And that one,
You get the meeting, all right?
yeah, yeah. Hopefully you got it.
I'm sure, yeah.
But if not, I can find it. Okay, so we'll keep that for May.
Yeah.
That one should not be much for discussion. I mean, it's not, it's pretty basic.
You never know.
Right, well, you never know. Never know. So that will just be a discussion, not, there won't be any option. So I'm working on a list.
You were gonna do that, if you're looking to, I can take a run at it.
That'd be great if you could. I've started to look at, yeah, even if you did the research of these are the ones and then send it to me, and then I can go around and look around to bring back that information. So if you did the research on the packets, the ones that were approved, and you could go all the way back to 2020 if you wanted to, because we started approving lots of things. 2020, when I got here, the list was like that long. And I think it just kind of fell to the wayside.
Okay.
I mean, maybe that's something we leave for a couple, do for a couple months from now.
Well, it's going all the way back to 2020. So it'll be harder for me.
All right.
To remember. Because I wasn't there to dig into it, but yeah, let's have that be a June topic.
Okay. We'll just keep it, Okay.
Recommendation from a public safety committee.
I think we push that one back too, because that should be more closer to the budget topics.
Yeah, but I think we'll want to probably. Let's get there to June, July is kind of when we start that. So
Right.
if we talk that in May, then June.
Yeah, I mean, I just think the closer we can get to the budget,
Yeah.
so maybe even get the budget memo that we get from Jay, and then,
That comes in July. So.
because then the direction we're going. By then, some of the numbers will come in. And my guess is that you would draft a letter, send it, everybody here approves it, and then it gets put in the agenda.
Draft a letter,
Approve it.
approve it,
And then-
whatever. And then
Right. Okay. So I think we can let's just say June. We'll just keep moving it down. So then the yellow boxes could come. So you're only gonna have massage parlor and yellow lines. Or not yellow lines, but mailbox ordinance. Yep.
I think that's. Good. Good.
In May, I will have a recognition for one of my officers. So I'll have to plan that out. Yeah, okay. If you're moving on to scheduled meeting, I have a conflict on May 19th that I can't get out of. Is there a way to move it either the following week or the previous week? Well, if you want to keep it on Tuesdays.
I'm not aware.
So Tuesday, Tuesday the 12th or if we're keeping it the same.
Well, that's Memorial. Well,
It's right after Memorial Day, so I mean we could move it up to the 12th. I would have the packet ready, which would be fine.
let's do it.
Up.
Yeah.
I think up is better than later, because if we do have something that needs to go to the board, I mean, we're not going to get it in May because May 11th is a village board meeting.
Okay.
So,
Let's do it.
so any of the, like the mailbox and the massage parlor, I'll need, if you guys want to make a note, I'll need it. Oop.
Monday?
So it's 12. I need to have it in the posted no later than the 7th, 8th, so you guys have time. So yeah, like the May 4th, 5th, somewhere around there. So I can add it in part of the agenda. Okay.
The board call safety. The village board meeting stepped up because we moved it. That's gonna be nice. Okay. So we moved it earlier, so now we have a late. Okay. So the next meeting is scheduled for May 12th. At 7 p.m. Motion to adjourn. Okay, motion second. Discussion. All in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed. Okay. So